pretty one, Ulysses. There it is.
Hello BookTube, I'm Sean the Book Maniac, and I'm here with Friday Reads. I just finished filming a page 112 tag, no costume change, so here I go. I've had a really good reading week, and I've had no bails in February, and it's already February 9th, I think. So it's pretty amazing, but it's because I've mostly just been reading one book. Annie Proulx's Barkskins. I'm doing it as a buddy read with Claire from Claire Reads Books. She's been very busy. I've been overwhelming her with my daily check-ins, but look forward to her getting a chance to catch up. I am really enjoying it. It's pissing me off, and I'm complaining to myself and to Claire with we're doing it in 7-chapter chunks, so over a 10-day period, which means that I will finish it on Sunday. And so I'm giving daily audio reports to Claire, and I'm doing a lot of complaining about various things. I don't think I'm going to go into too much detail on this Friday Reads, but it's such a baggy monster of a novel. It's a saga. It's a sweeping historical novel. I'm not enjoying the writing nearly as much as I did in the shipping news. I find the characters are quite paper thin, most of them. But regardless of all that, I'm finding the whole thing completely compelling. I'm turning the pages, and I am finding parts of it emotionally, where I feel invested emotionally in the characters. But for the most part, there's about hundreds of characters over this 700-page novel, and most of them just make a quick little skitter across the stage of the novel, and you don't hear from them or about them again. There's way too much about the business, but I'm not going to bail. I mean, it's still wonderful. For all of those complaints, I keep saying to Claire, I have all these complaints, and I'm not going to bail. So that's all I'll say. I'll finish it on Sunday, and I don't think this is one that I need to do a separate review on, so I'll just have some comments in my February wrap-up. The forest began to alter in small ways. It still lived, but it was not what it had been. Few noticed. The forest was a grand resource, and it was both the enemy and wealth. Achille felt it was the same with the Micmac. The white settlers used them and took them down. It was amusing to Alphege that, with age, he was presumed to be a wise man, even a sagmaw. Many people came to him to ask what they should do when an English housewife threw scalding water on a Mi'kmaq child begging food, or when another asked for magic help. And my most exciting news, this is huge for me. This company is not sponsoring me. I'm not a spokesperson for them. But Scribd has come to my rescue because I've canceled all of my audiobook subscription services and wasn't sure how I was going to survive until my financial situation improved and I could resubscribe to some, or what would I do in the future. But for right now, nothing. When I joined Scribd about 3 years ago, for about, I think it's $12 a month, I could have access to unlimited ebooks, audiobooks, graphic novels on their site, and it was amazing. But they couldn't make a go of it financially. They just couldn't keep their boat afloat because they had so many romance readers that were gobbling up 3 romance novels a day, and it just wasn't sustainable for them. So about 2 years ago, they radically altered their subscription plan, and for the same price, you got credits for 3 ebooks and 1 audiobook per month. You didn't have to redeem those credits within that month, and so you could accumulate them to a maximum of 3 audiobooks or 9 ebooks, but you could redeem them at any time and put them in your library and read them whenever you wanted. You didn't have to read or listen to these books within that month, so it wasn't that restrictive. But you couldn't go nuts, for example. You couldn't listen to 4 audiobooks in a month, but it was just to kind of control how much access subscribers had. And I didn't care, really, because I wasn't using it that much, so it didn't affect me, really. But now that I can't afford Audible and my other source, TuneIn, has disappeared, being limited to only 1 audiobook credit a month has really been restricting for me. But 4 days ago, they reverted back to their unlimited plan. They found another way to kind of stabilize it, and so it's back to unlimited. So that's fantastic. They do have some way of tracking if you're an extremely high-end user. The announcement said this would be like about 8% of the users. I don't think it would affect me, but those people that gobble up, 3 romance novels a day, those people still might hit a monthly limit where they wouldn't be able, after a certain amount, they wouldn't be able to. So basically, for me, I'm back to unlimited access. So I had already found that the Imogen Hermes Gower novel, The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock, the audiobook was there, so I've been planning to use my February credit when my renewal goes through on the 12th of each month, that would be my one audiobook. But when I found out it would have gone unlimited, within a few hours I also found out that the Tayari Jones novel was available on Scribd as an ebook, so I started that immediately, and I'm about 10% of the way in and really enjoying it. The narration, the audio narration is wonderful, and the novel is quite good. So that's the other book that I've started this week on audio. It just came out this week. It's been getting a lot of buzz. It's called American Marriage by Tayari Jones, an African-American writer. If you know anything about this book, this is not a spoiler. It's about a young married couple, and the husband is wrongfully convicted of a violent crime and sent to prison. It's how their marriage does and does not survive that. The story is really compelling. The writing is very breezy. I'm enjoying it. And the audio narration is great. I don't know how I'm ultimately going to feel, so this is very tentative assessment. But one thing that's already driving me crazy, it alternates between their point of view at the very beginning, and then once he goes into prison, which is very early in the novel, then it's kind of epistolary. So it's her letter and then his letter. Before it gets epistolary in that opening chapter, we get her voice, and the audio narration is lovely. But then when we get to the epistolary section, which is long, chapter 2, it's the same audio narrator for the guy, but a different audio narrator for the wife's letters, different from it had been in chapter 1. And that threw me off completely, and I finally did some digging and went to YouTube and actually listened to these people. So that first chapter, the wife's narration is done by the author, Tayari Jones, and she has a lovely voice, but then it's a very different voice when it's the wife's letters to the husband. That kind of stuff drives me crazy. Now, I assume Tayari Jones just wanted to have a little bit of input into the audiobook, but don't do that. That's like, if you're not going to read the character's voice through the whole thing, don't do it. It's different if it's third person, I think, or nonfiction. I have that complaint, and I'm not sure about this novel, but I'm certainly not going to bail on it. It's really, really well done. So, I haven't had much time to read the other books that were still in progress from the end of January, but a little bit. I'm still listening to the audiobook of Refuge. Enjoying that. Yeah, quite enjoying that. Life is beautiful. How about you? What are you up to, reading-wise or otherwise, this weekend? Thanks for watching.